One. Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. And what's today? April 13th. Lucky 13,
Wow.
2019. Man, oh man, this time flies.
It's flying.
We're already in April. My goodness gracious. So how's everybody doing?
Good. All the trees are starting to bud. Everything's coming to life.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Are you fasting, Steve? Have you started?
4 days.
Yay!
And then you know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing a pattern because I'm going to go back on the fast tomorrow. If I eat 2 days, if I eat beyond 2 days, I start having cravings like there's no tomorrow. So I'm just going to eat for 2 days a week, and that's it. I'll find something. I'm just trying to find my way here. That's all.
Yeah, no, each one of us will have to find that balance, and
yes, that's what it did. It seems to be 2 days. Once 2 days hits 48 hours, the cravings really just kick in.
Yeah, it'll be different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like myself, this week I didn't do any dry fasting, and my body is, oh my God, my body cannot handle eating every day. It's been, so long, so many years of doing this. My body's going, what the hell are you doing? And these are the things that we do sometimes, and we reinforce ourselves. But the fasting is always there. You just jump on board and just let it happen and embrace it, because that's the only way we're going to find that resolution is with the fasting. I have never, ever seen it with any diet or any foods. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I managed 40. I got 42 hours dry this week, so that was a step up. So
awesome.
Yeah.
When you're into this eating cycle, you balanced out from the fast. Start practicing a little longer dries, especially when we come to the season changes. Do it slowly, no force or anything, but
that's been difficult with work.
Yeah.
That's the block to the dry fast is the work.
Yeah,
try to find it so I can get it into the weekend. It's the same thing, just trying to find some balance.
You just started fasting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, first of the year.
Yeah, so
dabbled a little bit last year, but
yeah, just embrace all that comes and just work with it, and allow the process to take hold and unfold, because it is a process, and this is the difficulty of getting this information through to people. They just want everything now. Yeah, okay, I'm going to snap my fingers and it's all going to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was that easy, but I'm sure that once we become realized, everything is possible. You can do all these things, but we are not at that state yet as a whole humanity. And in the meantime, we just keep working at it one day at a time, and just live it and love it. Just love it and love everything about it. Love the healing reactions even more, because you're going to come out stronger.
Oh yeah.
This is
from the day I decided I was going to stop drinking till the day I stopped drinking was 11 years. So
exactly. That's a huge accomplishment for people that into alcohol, because that's a big another big addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up myself, the early late teenage years, started drinking, all that, and that went on for several years until I said, what am I doing? Once I started fasting, everything changed. 26 years old, everything changed. No need to indulge in that stuff. I'll have an occasional glass of wine here and there, but I make my herbal wines, so everything is a tincture, and you can enjoy your wine, and you have all the wonderful herbs doing their work, and they taste amazing. I've made them with all different types of herbs, and they always come out good, always. So if you're gonna drink any alcohol, the purpose of alcohol is to make medicine. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's spirit, and it's not designed to use as a social drink to get drunk or whatever. you know, and it's
Total abstinence.
sorry.
I say total abstinence. That's the only way I can do it. I can't touch it.
Yeah. But you're okay with the tinctures?
Yeah, I just burn them off.
Oh, okay.
I just heat them off, right? I just let them. I set them out on the counter for an hour, so they're fine.
Yeah. It's interesting how we are addicted to certain substances and so on and so forth, and nobody really looks at food as an addiction.
Oh. This is some powerful stuff. I'm telling you. I'm I set my intentions to go into the fast, and I did, but at 4 days I stopped it. It's like that's not how I entered it. So this is strong. I've never come up against something this powerful.
Yeah. And this is, when you start reading through the page and listening to people's stories, and then you understand, whoa, this is real. Yes. The emotions of that food. And like I said, the foods that we grew up with, that are mother cooked or whoever, or parent or whatever, those are the most powerful. And then you have the ones that were designed by corporations to keep you addicted. That's another story, because they purposely put certain chemicals in there because they know that they keep you addicted. And that's a whole nother story. So, but the motherly love, the plasma love, I like to call that is very, very, very potent. And we got it. We got that. What's the word I'm looking for? That experience through the food, and it's very powerful. What do when babies cry, what's the first thing mother does? Starts breastfeeding and puts the bottle in there. Food, right? So that programming starts from that point. So you think alcohol was tough? It's a cinch.
Child's play.
Exactly.
Really.
Exactly. That's what we're dealing with, Steve. We're dealing with the most addictive substance on the planet, which is food. I don't care what people say. This is my experience and what I understand. And there's nothing that comes close to the power of the addiction of food. Nothing. Just no way.
Nothing.
Fruit. Do you see anybody addicted to fruit? Maybe if you were brought up on fruit, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You have to talk to somebody who's actually brought up only on fruit and see if they are addicted to the fruit. I know there's a lot of fruitarians that eat in a day. They eat more than I eat in probably 2 weeks. Amount of fruit. And, I don't know if we want to call that an addiction, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to fill themselves up so much so they can get that kind of full feeling with the fruit.
Yeah.
It's kind of numb themselves out to that little bit. It's not like cooked food, because it takes much more fruit to get that kind of full feeling that we're all so used to, right? And that's why they eat so much fruit. They're talking about calories and all that nonsense, but it's nothing to do with that.
There'd only be a few people that could actually really do that, I think. It wouldn't be like, I was reading this story a while ago where this person eats a couple ate 30 bananas or something, and I was like, because I know when I broke, when I went on fruit, there was a period of time during my break I was actually sick of it. Like I was going, oh, this is really. I'm not a fruit eater previously, so there wasn't watermelon was great, mangoes were great. They tasted nice because it's like the first time you ever eaten them after your fast, and the sensations were nice. But after a period of time, I could see that, you wanted to go to other foods rather than, and that's when I knew the trigger was there. I was going, that's it right there. Everyone talks about it. I went through it. I wanted to go through it, but like Steve, I knew also that with the other people's experiences here that they've shared with us, is that they find it very difficult to go back onto, get back onto another long MFS. And this is where you've done really well, is that you're here and your pathway, your plan is to go back on MFS. You have to have, I think Gino used to keep saying that, and, coming on these calls all the time, Gino, even though it's repetition, it sinks in because it just goes, and you go, yeah, you got to plan, prepare, you got to, and for your next fast. And Steve, that's what you're doing. And that's why I think about fruit, Gina. I know I'm not, I don't know if most people are like this, but I'm not a type of person that can live on fruit. I'm a type of person, or a type of person that prefers to fast. I prefer to fast and learn the fasting lifestyle and get that balance in, rather than pursue another pathway, I suppose. Suits better. It's easy for me in life to not worry about, going to the shopping centre or going to the markets, and maybe I'm a little bit lazy, I'm not sure, but certainly makes it simpler when you don't have to keep going to the loo, and you don't have to keep buying things, and you don't have to keep cleaning things, and it's
such a simple life. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Marita. Yeah, it's when you're fasting, everything is so simple. Fruitarian type of lifestyle. Most people will not be able to live that lifestyle. It's just a fact, because number one, they don't have the fresh, ripe fruit available. That's number one. Number two, it's emotionally not satisfying for most people. Yeah, they taste great. They're wonderful, and ripe off the trees, beautiful, and amazing taste and all that. But if we weren't brought up like that, that program is running very, very deep. And I'm talking about the food program. So it's not something that we're going to be able to switch off and get over with quickly. Look how many people go to raw foods, and they go for 1, 2, 5 years. Some may go up to 10 years, and then they go off. Number one, most of them aren't fasting, so they're not cleaning out the obstructions, which are causing all their challenges. And then the challenges, more and more challenges start to surface, and they feel that they're lacking in this, that, and the other thing. And that's never the case, because the only thing we're lacking is plasma love always flowing. That's the only thing we're lacking. Look at out there, what's going on in this world. There's the beautiful things happening, and then you go, oh my God, how can this crap be happening in this wonderful planet we have? How can it be happening? It's just insanity. But that, I just posted that clip of McDonald's promoting vaccinations. Oh God. Yeah, eat all the crap you want and get vaccinated. You'll be fine. This is what they're telling you.
They're starting to force them. They're starting to force them down here.
Yeah, New York. We heard. Unbelievable.
Yeah, New York.
They're gonna put a gun to your head. They're gonna vaccinate you.
Yep.
If people don't stand up now, I give up. I give up. For humanity, we've had it. It's just whatever. Everybody has their choices. Like the whole thing is free will, and the choice. This is what they cannot take away from people. They can't take that away. You want to vaccinate yourself? Go for it. That's your choice. Don't force it on me. It's that simple, And this is where they're crossing the line big time. That's an invasion. Puncturing anything through the skin is considered a medical procedure as an operation. So they're forcing an operation on you if they're, forcing that thing on you. But I don't know. We'll see where this goes. When we were kids getting measles, go play with the kids who's got the measles, get over with. And now it's the most dangerous thing, it's going to kill you. Yeah, okay, sure. It has nothing to do with the weakness of the genetics, which have been happening more and more with each generation from all the toxic crap in our air, food, water, and frequencies and bombardments of everything else. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do because we're not vaccinated, right? That's why we're getting all this stuff. So I don't know. I just I don't even want to talk about this stuff. It gets me upset. It's just insane. Let's focus on the beauty of fasting and living and loving the art of subtraction, because that's the only thing that I found that always brought me back all the time. Even in the times where I thought I was gone, man, it was just fasting. Fasting brought me back every time. And it was just a beautiful thing. No amount of raw foods were able to solve my challenges. No matter how clean, no matter all the foods I was growing a lot of my own and stuff, sprouts and this and that. I had to get my fasting in. I had to get my fasting in to reset myself. And this, I understood when I read Arnold Harris Mucus's diet. I understood it was a lifestyle thing. I understood it. That was the clear thing that for me that stuck out the most. It's a lifestyle, and I must adhere to this fasting for the rest of my life, and that's what I stuck with. Every season change, pretty much. I haven't missed many. Fast. Now we're fasting much more, but this is once you allow the body to start getting used to that lifestyle. It takes time. It takes years. It's not going to happen overnight. Everybody wants it now, yesterday. But this is something where, you're coming from eating, 3 meals a day, most people, 2, maybe some people eat 2, maybe some people eat 4 meals a day. There's a few that eat 1. I did 1 meal a day for many years. We're coming from that eating lifestyle, and we want to completely, eliminate all our food and think the body's going to get used to it right away. It's not going to happen. It's a process. Just like we go into the fast, 108 days. Look at all the changes that happens when you go through 3.5 months without food. And then when you go back to food, whoa, how much more changes happen to go back to the eating cycle. It's a huge metamorphosis both ways that's happening. And the psychological thing is the biggest thing, the emotion, where as you've all experienced who've fasted, you understand how powerful that addiction to food is once you start eating. And this is why we have these support groups. The fasting part is the simple stuff. Follow a protocol. It's really pretty simple. Yeah, okay, you're going to have some healing reactions, no big deal. And then you're going to have the 5-10% of people that have been put themselves in a really tough situation health-wise, and they're going to have some pretty nasty healing reactions. But I can assure you, if you follow protocol and you may have to back off, whatever, you're going to come out stronger. Always. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But if you have the faith and the trust and the determination and the will to live, you're going to come out stronger. And this is the beauty and the magic of fasting. Your wish is your command. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? It's up to you. It's not up to me. I can't decide. Each one of us is going to have to decide how we want to live our lives. And they're trying to force us to live differently. They're putting poison in all the foods. Thank goodness the organic movement is growing it's been growing every year, but there's a lot of fraud and corruption in that as well. You buy organic, in Canada they did tests that I think it was 50 or 60% of organic foods got chemicals in it. So, oh, there was this guy, Mishaf. He's out in British Columbia. He was trying to change the way they would certify organic foods. Listen to this. I actually chatted with him a while back, and the organic certifying bodies, they hammered him down because his idea would have made them obsolete. And this is why. He said, we don't need all these certifying bodies, number one, because if a farmer wants to cheat, the way it's structured, they just have to have one of their friends buy the chemicals and spray it on their field. So there's no record of it. That's the organic industry we have. If somebody wants to cheat, they're going to cheat. Whereas what he said, instead of doing that, having all the records and all that, out with all that. Once the harvest time comes, send the sample to the lab. Is it organic? Yes or no? If it's organic, you get the stamp. If it's not, sorry, maybe next year. And that would cost a fraction. A fraction. Organic food would be way cheaper. One of the reasons it's so expensive is your certifying bodies. It's like another mafia. So, and they hammered this guy because, like all the most common sense, simple things, and what wins over is always the money. Always. What's behind it? Who's behind it? And that's what's out there with everything, with the whole food industry and drugs and everything else. So living this kind of fasting lifestyle, we're going completely against all the grains out there. That the body, allowing the body to clean itself up and regenerate itself. This stuff is like voodoo to some of these corporations, because you're making a lot of these corporations unnecessary. Food industry. If people would, cut down to eating 5 or 6 days a week, for example, how much less food would have to be grown? That's a lot of food worldwide. What if they cut down 50% of their food intake? My goodness gracious. What would that do to all the industries out there? The people growing, the people delivering, the people, the restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. So much is involved. So much money is involved in food. So, we're going against all grains. This is an eating culture. And it's been that way for, I don't know how long, but it's been that way for a long, long time. And
it's much worse now than ever.
Many generations, yeah. Now it's much worse than ever. There's probably very few cultures left on the planet that are like some of the Aboriginals and stuff that are, into minimal eating. But most modern societies it's all about gluttony, lots of food and so on and so forth. So to retrain ourselves and our mind and be able to function in a society where everything revolves around food, it's a bit of a challenge, I can assure you. I find it more challenging these days than it was back, when I started the first couple of decades. It's getting more challenging because we're in that state where the instant gratification mindset, and everything's revolving around that. Everybody wants everything now, yesterday, and we're being triggered left, right, and center with all kinds of things. So we have to be able to come to terms and realize what they are, and make the decision of which way we want to go. It doesn't matter. You want to eat, eat. This is your choice. But to live a lifestyle of less is more through the art of subtraction, it's going to be a continual effort on your behalf to make the right choices all the time for yourself. And every once in a while, you may fall off the wagon, no big deal. But once you get up and you stay focused, it's no big deal. This is the way it is. People think it's failure. No, it's not failure. It's just part of the journey and part of the learning process, and it's okay. The only stipulations and suggestions that we make is people got to be really, really careful when they break their fast, long fast. In anything over 30, 40 days, you got to be careful. One guy was posted, was it yesterday, the other day, about his friend breaks his fast with beer.
Is it master fast?
I don't know what he's doing. That's ludicrous. There was one guy who did a long MFS. I don't remember how long he did. And he goes out drinking with his friends after he broke his fast. He got into a coma. Like, I don't know what you want to call that, foolishness or plain right idiotic stupidity. I don't know. Like, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. When you cleaned out that GI tract, it's in a, especially, when you're done it for several weeks, a few months, that GI tract is so sensitive to anything that goes in there. You take a half an ounce of booze or whatever, you're going to feel that instantaneously because everything's working fields very, very quickly and easily, especially liquids. And
I've had clients who've done colonics, not necessarily changing their diet, and they're working in a bar and they got really drunk after a session or a few sessions. I don't remember. Yeah, I had one client. She said, I don't know, I drank the same amount, but she said her boss had to send her home because she got so drunk.
Yep. So if you're an alcoholic and you're spending a lot of money fast, then you won't need to spend as much to get drunk. If that's your lifestyle. I can assure you. But, some people, they want to test fate or whatever. I don't know. But that when I heard that, I could not believe it. He's blaming the fast for what I'm going, what? I go, buddy,
again, it always goes back to, are you responsible enough to do the master fast? I mean, are you responsible enough to make any choices in your life? Because everything is we want nothing to do with it. Nothing. You are responsible for everything. It's written all over the website in the notice that it is your responsibility, whatever you choose to do. So if you choose to break your fast with heavy food and maybe alcohol, whatever, and
good luck.
If something happens to you, it is absolutely your responsibility. So if you're not ready, if you feel like you're still making mistakes, and you're not ready to change, then don't do the master fast, or at least don't do a long one. Maybe do a 1 week, or
It's the same thing when you go to a doctor. They butcher you up, almost kill you, and you blame them. No, you're responsible. Yeah, you chose to go to the doctor and trust in him. It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
This is insanity, but this is the society we live, pointing finger society. Mm-hmm. So we
Gina, I was going to say is that particularly about that post that other people, where they want to try and help other people, so they come to you guys and they want to help other people that are sick or going through whatever, or they're maybe not fasting properly, or they ask those types of questions. And I always think to myself, because just through my personal experience, is that I want my husband to fast like I do. I want my parents to fast like me. I want the people that I love and care about to fast like me. But the only way I can do it, and it's freaking working, even though it's slow, is if I do it myself. It's like a no-brainer. Like if you do it yourself when you fast, okay, you clean out your GI tract and you get all the healings and you emotionally heal and all these things happen, and they are wonderful, by the way. But when you go to the next level and you realize that you're not fasting for you, but you're actually fasting for everyone around you, then you're in a place of service. You're in a place where you've actually put, you know, you ask the soul. So, and then now I'm going to my sister's on Wednesday for my niece's birthday. Do you know she's going to have grape juice there for me? Right. So I'm at my parents today. They've gone to church, so I'm at my parents. Warren's at home, and so my parents had grape juice in the fridge for me.
Awesome.
And they don't push me for food. And my dad, who's Steve, he's an alcoholic from about 10 years old, okay, and just it's difficult for him, but he accidentally fasts with me when I'm here. If he gives up 1 or 2 meals a day because I'm here, you know, that's huge. And because he's the father, he's the dad of the family, you see how that when he does it, it impacts the rest of the genetics. So it impacts the rest of the family. So why does my older sister going to buy me grape juice for Wednesday? You know, and she's an athlete. She's 54 and she does marathon running, and she sees her body's breaking down, and she looks at me because I'm actually a little bit slimmer than her now, and she looks at me and she's going through all these health elements and talking about all her athlete friends who have got all these health problems and all, you know, the big C word and everything like that. And she's explaining to me about the science of this and that, which I don't understand anymore, Gina, because like one of the greatest things about doing MFS, you can dump all that science stuff and you can really live life. And so like that's the thing that I think is so more powerful. Rescue you first, because the rest will follow. It's just a no-brainer, simple thing to do. You know, if that person is ludicrous in drinking after a fast, oh my God, my heart went out to that person. Like I just sent PLAF straight away because there's nothing else you can do. You know, so the mindset is just a huge game player. But when you fast and you can, you know, rise above the mindset, rise above all that bullshit that you say, like I think I put a post up about the personality. You know, the personality is a whole freaking lie. Like I'm going, and that's got everything in it. You know, that's got your fears, it's got your programs, it's got your paradigms, it's got your identity, it's got everything in it. And then if you just love on that personality, then you can go to the soul, then the game's over. Not game's over, but, you know, you're on the pathway of the yellow brick road, really. You know what I mean? You're on that path where that door's just so wide open, like you said, Gina, when you do the, you know, the long fast, that realizations through so quickly. So I think for the people that you want to help and want them this more for them, do it for you first, because they're going to watch you. I have so many people watching me. Like, it's just like they want, like Steve, you've had this with your, you know, with your family, where they want to know, what are you doing? They start to ask these questions. And, you know, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months isn't really a long time in fasting, because it just, you know, in all of your life, and how your 3 months that you put out for fasting impacts so much of the people around you. Yeah, sure, you're going to get resistance, you're going to get all that stuff, but you know what? Really, who gives a rat's ass about that? You know, you're living your life anyway, so you know, the freedom in fasting is just so huge. People see me so free because, you know, I'm not doing what I used to be doing. I'm living this completely different, as you say, Gina, you do need to change everything, a completely different lifestyle, which is just wonderful. And sure, you're going to get challenges. It's not going to be an easy path. Those challenges are great because, you know, the breakthroughs that you have takes you to a different level continually all the time, you know. But, yeah, that post really got me, because I thought to myself, you know, that guy, I just wanted to talk to him, just slap him.
I don't think this guy was doing the master fast. I think he's just asking about his friend fasting randomly.
Friend, yes.
His friend is doing master fast.
I just let it through because so people can see how ridiculous idiotic
you have
something
to,
like that is. And
ask next time, what are you doing? What is your friend doing? Why is your friend not here? Why is your friend not asking the question? Because usually you don't help people who are, talking about their friends, right? Yeah, so ask them, what are they doing here? Like, where are they? Why don't they ask the question? Are they doing the master fast? I have no idea. I mean, there are so many people who are fasting worldwide. We don't know anything about them, we can hardly keep up with the master fast. I mean, if people are not communicating, we can't really help, right? We can't support them. Like this guy who didn't break properly, right? Who was doing the master fast, and he did went that weekend or something with his friends. I don't think he was not someone that we was connected with us on Facebook. I don't remember, I think it was just a random person who came and said, I did the master fast, So it's, again, it's hard to support people like this as well, obviously he's not really into it, otherwise he would be with us, not come to us after he does something wrong and talk to us about it, so it's not responsible.
Yeah, Amrita, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you, Ranji, for those words. Been feeling an existential crisis. The path unfolds to me more and more how deeply woven my loved ones are into the matrix of these foods that are killing us. And still their resistance to me fasting, even though I've had a massive transformation always. Yes, this next fast, which I want to do so bad, needs to be for me. That's the only person we can do it for. Yeah. We can't do it for anybody else. When I look back when I started, my goodness, people thought I was an absolute lunatic talking about vegetarianism, never mind fasting, 30 years ago. Back then it was hard to come through by information. You'd have to get it through books or word of mouth, right? And now you have access to everything and everybody's overflowed with so much bull crap. They don't know if they're coming or going. So you need to have, go within and decipher, because once you go within during your fast, your long fast, you'll see clearly all the bull crap. It's very clear, it comes to you. So that's the way that it always, I was guided through my fasting. Let's put it that way. I was always guided through my fast because I fasted regularly. And that's the wake-up calls. Every time that fast came, it would reset me. I would be clear in mind. I'd understand and just keep doing it over and over and over. And just eat as clean as I can in between. And that's what I did for many, many, many years. And keep doing it. That's it. This is the lifestyle. Fasting is the lifestyle. We enjoy eating, but we love fasting much more. And the feeling that you get when you're in your element in a fast, you can't compare with it. There's no food. There's no food that'll do that for you. There's no drug. There's no herb. There's nothing that's going to give you that feeling. It's the fasting is the element of creation itself. It's built within us. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. It
purifies us more.
The nectar of God, as I like to call that. It's amazing when you tap into that nectar of God.
It purifies the soul for sure.
It's an actual sweetness that comes from the roof of the mouth.
Yeah, okay.
You've tasted.
I see that. Yeah.
Especially in dry fast.
Oh, gosh, yes. A 3-day dry fast on Easter. If anyone wants to join me or wants to start an MFS, they can start an MFS. I'm doing it because it's, the power and the energy of that full moon, and just with that, it's just, I'm excited.
Next week?
Yeah.
Next week.
I'm so excited to do a 3-day dry fast on Easter because the first 3-day dry fast I ever did on MFS gave me that reminder of dying to yourself and becoming new, because you did. Because at the end of the month, the way you guys design it is perfect. Because at the end of the month, you do that 3-day dry fast, it just pulls you forward to keep on MFS. It's the most, you do feel new. You feel new. You really do.
Yeah.
And Rana, I wanted to see if how are you, beautiful sister? I just love you so much when you're here.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. I love you too. Yeah, I'm doing great. Still on my way to get on the fast. Still debating massive fast weekly or full massive fast. But yeah, yeah, it's going. I can feel it. It's coming. I can feel. Sometimes I like to prepare for a long one, and it just happens when it happens. But I'm like on the path. And so I don't know. Yeah, I do have ideas. Sometimes I want to do a long one or maybe eat 2 days a week. We'll see. We'll see. Just taking it easy at this point. I don't want to push myself. I know my body's going through too much, so many things, and also, I'm working full time, and then we're working on the house here on the weekend, and it's just always there's something. So I want to allow myself to do it when I'm ready. But yeah, it's coming along. I feel it's coming. I'm ready for. I love the summer when I'm fasting. So starting in the spring is a great time. I really love the summer when I'm fasting. I feel much lighter. I love the heat when I'm fasting. It is much nicer. I'm not too hot and I'm not too like sweating so much. It's just perfect, the temperature when I'm fasting. Yeah, feeling light, feeling connected, feeling Ramadan is coming. I'll be fasting as well. The Islamic fast that's next month. It's a whole month. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Obstructions. People say they're cold. Put obstructions in your body, temperature will go up.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yeah, yeah. So if it's hot or cold, the body adapts much better to the temperature of the environment when we are fasting. 100%. At least I experienced it many times in winter and in the summer. It's way easier to deal with the change in temperature. Especially here, it's extreme, like extremely hot, extremely cold. So we feel both, and it's much nicer when we're fasting. There's no comparison. Fasting versus eating, like being inflamed versus being clean and light. Yeah, there's no comparison.
Well, David, Sarah's joined us. Hello, guys. Yeah. So, what's going on with everybody out there?
Well, I like to hear from Arita because she's my soul sister from Australia. How are you, beautiful?
Hi, it's so lovely to have finally made it on here.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, wow, it's been a huge journey with Master Fast. It's brought me back from the near dead.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, what to say?
Are you fasting now?
No, same as you, Rana. I'm feeling it's coming. And at the beginning, I knew I just had to fast. There was no choice. It was death or fast. But now I'm feeling that it's coming, and it's the 108 that wants to come. Mm-hmm. And naturally, I'm feeling just to eat less and less. And I've been on mostly just like one fruit meal, the herbs and the enemas and the pudding. And then just as this clears the ocean in my body, of course the obstructions in my life starts to clear, and everything is just unfolding. My dreams are unfolding almost at a pace that's it's hard to just take in how incredible this is.
You've been
really
while,
incredible, really. Oh, what's that?
You've been around for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I started, my first fast was Valentine's Day last year. That was my loving gift to myself. Yeah, and just, I really appreciate kind of waves that come and go on this journey. And what this chapter of all fruit brought up for me. I've never felt so kind of balanced in all fruit. Usually I would be on all fruit after a fast for some time, but I'm kind of until I can have more savory foods. But this is just so bliss. And I think, like you were saying, Ranjit, no washing up. Just put it in the blender, done. And I still do some catering for retreats, and I'm beginning to feel more and more that things that I've been doing are no longer okay. And this retreat, I was cooking like some pies and things the other day, and the amount of shopping just to make some pies, and all of the washing and the chopping and the cooking for what, So yeah, more and more things are becoming less okay. And same with my work. It's beginning to open up slowly that I'm only going to serve foods on my retreat that are fruits, that are raw, that are in alignment with me. Slowly I'm being able to do this. But what's really come up for me kind of in the last week or so was just almost every day someone is coming up to me about their diseases, their health problems. One of their parents is given 3 months to live with cancer. It's every day. And so I try to just share a little bit about this path. And, I haven't been brought up by the perfect, healthy, hippie family with, just all fruit. I was brought up with the Irish diet, all of the meat and dairy and wheat cereal and lots of alcohol, of course. And it's been a big journey. And the crisis just came, and it's really just hit me and put me in this place of just stopping with moving onwards with calling on the fast just for a moment, even though it's absolutely where I'm going. But it just brought me into a place of feeling, oh, what's going on here in the world? How can I can't force any, I can't get through to some people, I can just keep being the living example. Mm-hmm. But it's difficult when just I share gently and then it's just a blank look. Oh. Yeah, well, that's what the doctor said. So so just really deeply feeling the need to be more and more connected to others on this journey. And what you said, Gino, about you just got to focus on the beauty. Yeah. Exactly. But it's deep, and I feel my soul is signed up for the journey, and I feel quite balanced and whole and wholesome in my journey on this path. It's unfolding very beautifully.
How long did you fast last year?
It was 101 days in total, but that was over 3 fasts.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just really acknowledging how much more difficult it is to get back into a fast after time without it, and there's beauty in all of that. Like I am the experiment, and I'm really learning about foods rather than just from my mind, no experience, and my soul going, great, now we're done with that, So I feel it's kind of a beauty that will carry me through after the next fast as well. Yeah. But definitely I'm learning all the time, every day, drinking in as much information as I can every day, and I feel that really helps to empower me as well when I move into deeper detox, even understanding the herbs more and the symptoms and what I can do. It's so incredible.
Yeah, the first fast is easier to get into. Then after that, it's a little bit harder, because
of our programming.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder for sure to get back on the fasts after that. The first one is so easy, like you don't
Mm.
want it too much, but after that you're like, I don't know why, but there's a little bit
Emotion.
of fear, you know.
Emotion.
Yeah. 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 Definitely, yeah, Ranjit, you're like the shining light in this realm, and your posts every day. And I'm just thinking, because you're only up the road from me a couple of hours, and I really feel you. You know, I feel you up there in Brisbane, and yeah, you're like this everyday reminder for me in just helping me just to come closer to jumping into the next fast. Yeah.
This is, you know, why we have the support page. This is, you know, each
Yeah.
inspires and supports each other. Otherwise, you're out there on your own, man. Good luck. It's
Yeah.
very challenging for people to do it on their own. Very challenging.
Yeah. Mm.
How are you, Inga? How are you doing?
How to go? Hi everyone. Good, good. Interesting as usual. You know, I can share a little bit with you what I have unfolded with Masterclass. What we do, we undress ourselves. We take the stuff off so quickly, and that's why is so many people having these difficulties to stay on a path. What happens when we fast, we take off the layers, and that's completely came to me in not sure a couple months ago when we want to jump 5 meters without learning steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's what when we finish fast, especially probably because that's exactly what happened to me when we were eating and eating and eating because we want to put the back layers what we have took off so quick.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's a spiritual journey, and lots of realizations and awakening that happen along the way. And yeah, we're not ready for them. It's just too fast.
Another thing what is really interesting, like as I say, I am very deep. I'm not sure has anyone has experienced what I'm doing, and I would say what I'm experiencing, there is probably 1%, even less, humanity is ready.
Exactly. It's the few. Yeah.
Well,
because, yeah, go on, Rana.
There are many people who are really sick and tired of where they are, but they just don't know how to start, you know.
They are, but they're not willing to do the work. That's the challenge. They're not willing to put in the effort and the time and the energy to make the changes. They want instant gratification, which has been that fallacy of illusion that's been sold to everybody with, you know, pharmaceuticals and this, that, and the other thing. Instant gratification. Here, take your pill. Everything's fine.
I was talking to my partner last night and we had a deep conversation, and like he says, he would always call me crazy, but like positive way and absolutely fine. But he says now I'm completely crazy because like for me unfolds there is nothing. There is just space, emptiness, and there is no God. There is no need meditations. Like everything is in within. Even like these all breathing, we go and follow somebody, but actually everything is within. We just have to allow the process to unfold, to experience these things. But see, in his case, because like we live in mind, majority we do live in mind, it needs to be approved. And like I'm complete, as I say to him, like we had sort of challenging conversation, and where he puts up you putting people down, and I say, but I brought the trigger up for you. he cannot see that way. But in me is such a peace. And then he says, why you're not telling everyone else? But humanity is not ready to hear that. Honestly, if I would start talk, like he says, probably that small percentage one who I am now is locked up. And then I ask him, explain to me, why do you think we need to be locked up who has this knowledge? And then like he couldn't. Because we don't give a proof, it's coming within. And as I say now, it's more information comes, which is I get it much easier to digest and allow to unfold with animals rather than with fast. And just don't speed up, because maybe if we do speed up, then we will end up probably whatever in that lock home, or rather than allow the process unfold, because we came here for each and everyone for different experience, for a different journey. You know, and that's why I wouldn't push anyone to do, no matter what, fast. Or I have done so many lots of meditations and fast and everything. Everything just goes away. It just drops. And I have that peace, silence in me, which I never even experienced in meditation. That's why I say, like, interesting what happens with me, but I just witnessing. As I say to my friend, I'm a witnesser.
Yeah, just go back to some of your old calls and listen to yourself. Yeah. And watch how you started unfolding and changing. It's interesting when you see that. It's amazing. And we can't force anybody to do anything. No, just be the change. Be the change yourself. Go within and be the change, because when you change yourself, you're affecting everyone around you. As Ranjit's touched on that, this is the only way. There's no other way. This is why we say we're only here to support people on MFS. If you're not ready, it's okay. Go wherever you want to go. This is what we're here for. We aren't here to argue anything. You don't want to do this lifestyle. It's not for you. That's fine. Move on. We're not.
I have a feeling also like, the sun shines and it's warm and bright, and people attract the sun. That's how I have feeling as well. Rather than go and teach anyone, be the light, be the shyness, and whoever will want to come to you.
Exactly.
Because like I am Gino, really deep, really, really deep.
When people will only do this type of lifestyle when they're ready, not before.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen. And a lot of people will, jump in and try whatever, 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. And then they go back to their old ways. But, that experience is always in that memory. And they may be back in a year, 2 years, 3 years. Because it wasn't just time for them. That massive change was too overwhelming for them. So it wasn't time for them to commit to that change. Some of these people, they're in very serious situations. And if they don't keep the change of a lifestyle, they may not be around too much longer. But that's their choice, and that's okay. That's all beautiful.
Gina, there's something I'm still trying to understand, because Inga, I love how you talk, because this is the only place that we can talk about this stuff. Like, I've had some interesting stuff happen to me. I don't know if I should express it here or not. People might think I'm a bit whoopy, but I am whoopy, and I don't mind being a bit crazy, because then I know I'm on the right path. Yeah, but Gina, I still don't understand it, because if someone does 108 days, right? If anybody does it, doesn't matter where you're at, whatever you do, you go through the process, you are touched, right? You were touched by the soul and the source, no matter what. Okay, because it's the soul that regenerates, does everything. We understand that. But when you have a taste of that and you go back to what you did before, that memory's there. So the remembrance has been opened up. So those cells have been opened up and everything's there. I just don't understand why a beautiful soul wouldn't want to continue on that path. I know everyone has a different journey and they may be tapped in different ways, but I just don't. The nectar for, you know, what you said before is just so strong in me personally, that to live a fasting lifestyle, no one's going to take me off it. To live, you know, some sort of balance in this fasting MFS lifestyle in the realm, there's just absolutely no way in the world I don't think, will ever go off. I can't see how, you know. So that's why I don't understand, and I feel for them, because, like, you know, just to have our whole family back in the realm of MFS and thousands of people that you've helped, you know, and, you know, it's just such a beautiful space to be in. Yeah, I don't fully appreciate it. Why?
You know, free will's a bitch.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can only speak for myself. I've been through the cycles, you know, feeling amazing, going back into the food and mingling into the food for a while and going, what am I doing? I gotta go back. But some people, they're just not ready to the pull in their social lifestyle is so strong. It's more stronger in that sense than for them to be alone in that beautiful, healthy, blissful state. I think that's really what it is. I don't have a social life. Like, I'm taking care of my mother. I'm here. I'm over here on the page. That's long gone for me. But if I'm going back in my memory in the days where always going out, growing up, you know, this and that, always needed to be somewhere, missing out. That mentality, that lifestyle of, you know, always needing to be somewhere with somebody. That's what's out there, you know. Something that we're missing out because they're just not ready to stay connected, true to the soul, and be in that phase of blissfulness. Because when you're in that phase, you're in total bliss all the time, all the time. You know, you guys who tasted it, you understand what I'm talking about. It's when you go back to food and the shock comes because the bliss goes away, and you're trying to feed the bliss with food. It doesn't work. There's no bliss with food. It doesn't work. Only the nectar of God will bring you that bliss. So I don't know. It's just the mirror of truth. It comes, you know, they're facing it, and they look away because they're just not ready. I don't know. I don't really understand exactly what goes through each person's mind, but the transformation is just too overwhelming, and the commitment, they're not ready to make the commitment. That's basically it. They're just not ready. How many people, you know, what's an example I can use, want to be in a trade or be an athlete or whatever, and they go into it and they see how much work is involved and they walk away because it's just too much. They can't comprehend it's decades of commitment to be a master, and they're not ready, they're not willing to do that. That's really what it is. Martial arts, same thing, right? You need decades to become a master. How many people are going to stick to it? I can tell you how many people have been through our class. They come and they go. Some stay for one day and they're gone. Some stay for a few weeks and they're gone. There's no commitment in them to you know, go the distance. To be that to stand out, to do what the very few will do, to, you know, make that commitment. Very few will do that. And the ones that do, those are the ones that are shining in our lives, right? The ones who make the commitments, who put in the time and the energy and the effort day after day after day, even like in business, for example. Who are the successful ones? The ones who are working hard. They maybe failed 10, 20, 30, 40 times, if not more, some of them, before they became successful, because they put in the road work, right? It's the same thing with fasting lifestyle. But everybody wants it handed to them. They want 108 days or 30 days and everything's done. They want to go back to their life and have it last for the rest of their life. That's the mentality I see. It's just, it's not, the comprehension of what we're sharing is not there. It's been the same thing from the day one. It's just changed some words, added, try to make it more simplified, more organized, more clear, because it's kind of a fault of my own. I was saying things and I thought people understood it. And as it unfolded, people clearly did not understand what we're saying. You know, for example, you know, the more dry fasting you do, the more aggressive the fast. And what do people do? Newbies, they do more dry fasting. But they didn't understand about everything else we've said. You need to work your way into that and get your body to be able to do that and reach that point. And then it takes years. But they want it right now. They want to dry fast 3 days a week now. They don't want to take 3, 4, 5, 6 years to do that. Okay, go for it.
Gino and Ranjit, what I also would can add about this when you don't understand other people, I would say is it's a lot of by other people influence. They see, for example, you are changing tremendously and they think they want to achieve what me or you achieved rather than go through the process. And with the mind, because we are, as you know, we are very powerful beings, with the mind, I can do it. It doesn't matter what number of days. And then what happens, you do it, but you do it with your mind rather than your soul calling. And that's why we are not ready. And then we go off and we blame and whatever, whoever does. Because it was really good a challenge for me and my sister a couple years ago, where I heard about soul cleanses. And I wasn't ready at all. And then eventually, years later, I bought a book, and there that soul cleanse came up in the book, and just somebody like click, you are ready. And I done, and I felt light, magical, like somebody gave me a fairy wand. And then my sister came along and she says, I'm going to do it with you. Never researched, never done. With her big ego, I can do it. I asked her, are you sure? Oh, yes, okay, come on. And that point has also thought, yeah, better because it's good for me, it's good for you. Now I know it's absolutely not. And she went completely out of whack. Because she says, I can do it. Rather than, like, I followed each step and feeling, but she just seen me changes and she said she can do it. She done it, but she burned really nicely. And that's exactly as with fast. But I would say probably with anything in life.
Exactly.
As I say, there is no good or bad. No. There is just experience.
It's very important, in my opinion, to incorporate like praying in the fasting because it's very deep.
I would say, Rana, yes, that is, and I absolutely nothing against everyone. As I say, don't believe me. That is absolutely my pure experience. When I talk to my partner, I also say, you can listen, witnessing, watching, and will come through the sensation what you experience. Like, interesting in past, I have prayed, but never clicked with me. Yeah. Never, ever. I meditate. I did because everyone else did and say, you need to. Yeah, I did. But truly, deeply, never clicked with me. That doesn't mean doesn't click with me. It's not going to click with you, you know, with all of you. That's why I say I am so unique and I am so, so different. But what I'm like unfolding, there is nothing outside. It's everything within. That is pure my experience. And that please don't get attached to my experience because you have your unique, beautiful experience.
Yeah, I believe, honestly, I believe, you know, fasting does bring us closer to God, but I believe to be closer to God outside fasting is very important. And then when you fast, it's just deeper, a deeper experience.
I don't believe anything.
Yeah, this is how I see it. Because growing up, I used to pray 5 times a day, and it was deep. But when we fast, it is way deeper. Like it's just way deeper. And I think it's very important. It's definitely emotional um, stability is missing today, and so many people, and that comes in my opinion, it does come with connecting to God. Now, is everybody ready? Of course not. That's why most people don't pray. And then, it does click at some point to people at different times, and maybe not. Some people will never get into that. And yeah, you can't force it. That's one thing we know for sure, that you cannot force the experience on anybody. But does it work? Absolutely. It can work. Absolutely. And if it doesn't work, it's because we're not connected, So this is how I see it. Does it work? Absolutely, it works. And fasting would make things much deeper.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not work or work, but just it's not in me. It's absolutely not in me. And now I really witness it. I don't need it because everything is within. It's God is not out there. It is within.
Yeah, everybody has a different definition. Now everybody comes to God, but we all know that it's a connection. Whether it is, some people say we are God, other people say God is up there, and I am connecting to God when I pray, and that's fine. Everybody has their own way of saying it and feeling it, I guess. But it is, at the end of the day, it's a connection that we are lacking, I feel, today. And the fast-paced world, like everybody's busy, go, go, go. We hardly have time to sit down and just reflect on things. And even people who pray, sometimes we do it very fast. It's very distracting. Life can be very distracting, and it just comes with practice, in my opinion. Just have to keep doing it, and you know practice is very important for, makes us better at fasting and breaking the fast. And
see, you mentioned distraction, life. And my feeling would be go within. What brought that challenge up for me, rather than like I would be going praying to put on the side.
It's not a bad thing to be distracted. This is life. It's just, and I see it for me, when I say distraction, it's the devil, really. If you want to talk about religions, it's the devil. So basically, it's the material stuff. It's the material stuff that are coming and distracting us from connecting to God. But of course, everybody sees it differently. But
absolutely,
in most religions,
yeah.
I would say in Christianity and Islam, it's more or less like this. When we are distracted, it's usually nonsense, ego, material stuff.
Yeah.
My experience, there is no religion.
Yeah, I know there are many people who are atheists, and that's fine. At the end of the day, everybody has their own belief, but and we respect each other and each other's beliefs. As long as we support and respect each other, nobody can force anything on anybody, right?
See, that's what I say. Like what I feel, like when somebody teach us or mentor us, we attach to that, and when we attach to it, we, as you say, believe. We cannot truly experience our own experience because we believe somebody else. When we don't believe anything, absolutely nothing, witnessing, feeling, then everything comes to you.
Yeah, but
until we believe. What shall I go on?
Once you start going into the long fasts over and over and get into the real long ones, you will come to the understanding that you are part of the whole. You are self-realized, and it's you can't describe the feeling that you get.
No.
It's just there's
definitely.
no sense
when you're
of
connected, nobody can describe it.
there's no sense of absolutely any desires, because you are connected to the all, to all, you know, all these different religions and so on and so forth and beliefs, you know, whether we believe in creation or not, creation does exist.
Well,
You know, it's just
the
like
creation is created by the creator.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Creation is there because if you an example would be this, you know, the cell phone. Okay, like the atheists or whatever, they'll believe in the Big Bang Theory. Everything was an accident. Okay, this phone. Let's say this was an accident, right? The intricacies and the intelligence that went into this was an accident. Something blew up and this phone came out. How ridiculous does that sound? You know, this is a phone. Never mind the wonderful, infinite, limitless beauties of creation and the intelligence behind every single atom of creation itself. In all the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, every planets, the stars. It's just, it's like for people to believe that there's nothing. I just don't understand that. I just don't know where that comes from.
Because science cannot prove it. That's why they think there's no God. You know?
Yeah, well, they believe that it was caught. Everything, this whole existence is caused by an accident. But when you present this phone or a car or the simple thing as a bottle, it was created by an accident, explosion. They're going to say it's ridiculous. But they don't say it's ridiculous for the universe that happened that way. It doesn't make any sense.
There is order in the creation.
Exactly.
God
There's intelligence.
It's not just an accident and everything is a mess. There is order, you know. And God, the creator, has order. There are laws, right? There are laws. Whether we like it or not, there are laws in our lives.
The key is you got to put time in for yourself, for your creator. However you do it, put the time in. Be consistent, be persistent. Just like you put in the time for your body, the fast. At the same token, the fasting experience is a spiritual experience, way more so than it is a physical experience. Physical stuff is the simple, easy stuff. There's the spiritual, emotional stuff is where everybody goes cuckoo because it's so imbalanced in their lives and throughout their lineage. So many imbalances they're carrying through, and this is where we should we choose to put our focus on, so we can bring some balance to all that. And the physical stuff takes care of itself. You don't have to think about it. There's no thinking about nutrition and minerals and vitamins and amino acids and carbohydrates and all that stuff. You don't have to think about any of that. How beautiful is that? It's all done in autopilot. It's done in autopilot. And this is where everybody that comes to Master Fast, not everybody, a lot of people that come here, they go on the fast and then they go out there and they go back into that realm of that crap, of addition. And they come back, oh, well, this guy says this. Okay, we'll go back there because we've gone past that. We understand it's all nonsense to us. You know, okay.
But it's a trap,
went through,
right? I mean,
yeah, we went through
addiction.
it. We understood what it was for the time being. It was an enslavement trap. Clearly, that's all it is to entrap you into that illusion of man-made stuff, the diseases and this, that, and the other thing. And let it all go. This is where I'm trying to make it as simple as trust in your soul. I don't know how much more simple we can make it. Trust in your soul. By trusting your soul, you're trusting in creation, in God itself, who created you. Because going to soul, you're going to directly going to your creator, to God, whatever you want to call it. It's automatic. And once you make that connection, the autopilot runs. And you connect to that perfect blueprint, I like to call it, in the ether, because each one of us has that perfect blueprint. And how do we access it? We fast. We go on long digestive vacations, and we can access it. You don't believe me? Don't believe me.
No, we believe you. Oh, it's so true. Like, just alluding to what everyone's saying here is that I walk around in complete meditation, bliss, prayer, 24. Sometimes I only sleep 4 hours, but you're just in this zone, as you say, to witness God, creator, whatever it is, you're just in it. And you're just walking around. I'm just talking to the creator or the source or whatever it is all the time. Like my husband goes, who are you talking to? And I'm going, well, I'm just talking to, all those, whatever it is that's there in the other space, because it's more huge than what it is here. I said, they're all there. I said, I'm talking to my MFS family. I talk to these souls and things that happen, and like it's just all happening, and you can tell the difference. The voice is so different from the mind voice, the personality voice, compared to the voice of the truth. It just cuts through. It's very, very different, and that is my biggest fear, Gino, is if I'm not in that constantly, however we get there, in that space. And fasting is a mechanism and a tool to do it, for me anyway. Gets me there really fast compared to anything else. Add prayer to it, add meditation to it. I'm listening to 432 music here at the moment. Add that to all your tools, and it just takes you to a place of complete, like what I think Inga's alluding to, is just that deepness, deeper in the layers, and the fear to. I think you are right, Gina. There's a fear for people to experience that, because it's an unknown place, but it's just too beautiful to say, why wouldn't you want to not experience it in the human experience? I don't want to come back 50,000 times to experience this. Let's all experience it now and enjoy it for whatever it is. Like, how can you beat this group and this, what we do your Saturday night? Like, this is just, I just, wait for this every weekend now. Like,
Me too.
I want to share something that happened to me, but I don't know if I should share it. I don't know. Like, I'm toiling with it. I had this. I don't know.
Share it.
Okay, it's pretty okay. So, a couple of weeks ago. It was just after, always things happen after my dry fast, right? So I was just lying in bed. It was early hours in the morning. Warren was still working. He was on the computer. And I was in and out of those two states, your dream state and your physical state. And I was just so peaceful, very deep in meditation. And then I had this surge of energy. Because I told you lots of stuff going on in my womb. I think I might have mentioned last year. Lots of things going on, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just enjoying it. Anyway, so I had this orgasmic feeling. I actually had an orgasm without my mind being completely empty. There was nothing there, and it surged through my body, and it was like a fire that went from the bottom of my base all the way up. It just threw it out. And then I just went, it was like really quick. It happened very, very quickly. And then the aftermath of that was just like for days. And it's not a sensation or a feeling that I've ever had before. And all I heard, it was time. And I didn't know what that meant, like it's time for what, I don't know. But anyway, so I had this feeling that come through, and it was in between the two states. So it was like, wow, this is just incredible. Like, basically, it is true. You don't need to go and have, sorry to say this to people, but you don't need to have a mate for intercourse, right? That's one thing. I understand now that you don't actually need, I understand how you have miraculous conceptions. Like, I get that. Like, all that, whatever happened, all came through. And I understand now that, there's so many things I understand, that the realization from that experience was just huge. And it's true, you don't have to go and sit for hours for meditation. You can just live in this, and pray in this and be in this all the time. And for some, fasting, cleaning out that GI tract, because I'm so clean inside, Gino and Rana, you know what I mean? I'm so clean. I feel my space in my cells. Like, what the hell's that? How can you feel your cells, which is an atom, and you can feel the space in your body, and then you feel the space attached to everything else? And this thing happened, and I'm going, this is just, and I'm still getting fed information from it. Like it's I never expected it, and it was never even asked for it. It just basically happened. The only thing I asked for was my intention, right? The intention to be more connected, deeper with the soul, the awareness, and to have that human experience. So now I'm having human experiences from God and soul and source and that presence. Does that make sense? Is that too crazy?
You just peeled an obstruction that was in the way of for you allowing to have that happen. And it's amazing because, as you said, immaculate conception, of course it's possible. It's all done through soul. Why wouldn't it be possible? Once you access soul, you have access to all knowledge of all creation, all of it. There's nothing missing. You have access to it. And this is why we see the miracles happen. Look how many people, like the miracles, regenerating nerves, bones straightening out, spine straightening out, the ears regenerating to different shape. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. How does this happen? How does that happen? With nothing. It happens through soul. You're connecting through soul. You clean out the obstructions, your field strength goes up, and you have access. It's done in autopilot. There's no thought process, no nothing. And many, many, many more so-called miracles people will experience as we go along and live this lifestyle more and more so. The stars are the limit. There's the sky is limited. The stars are the limit. There's no limit. So just live it and love it day by day, and use the tools and spend time meditating and or praying. Spend time, whatever it is, few seconds a day. If it's 432, if it's 9 seconds a day, spend some time. Put some time aside for your creator, because that's the biggest thing missing out there. That's
yeah. The majority of us are busy. We're very busy. Everybody is busy working. We have a schedule. We're always working, so it's not easy to make the time. If you have the time, that's much easier to connect. But the majority of people, I believe it's important to just take a break from the daily, routine and just connect.
If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Anything grand and miraculous is worth putting the effort. Putting the time and energy.
Just a quick one.
Go ahead.
If we had the time, we would have another excuse.
Yeah, it's true.
Unlimited excuses. Unlimited.
Absolutely. It has to come from the heart.
I just remember when it started sharing this information. This was 3.5 years ago now. About how much flack I got. My goodness gracious. Oh my God. It was first time experiencing social media like that. It was a shock to me, man.
You see, that's the lower power at work.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
and then
that's why not many people can do this.
Yeah. It was a challenge for me the first year of doing it. Real challenge, emotionally, to be able to stick this out. There's I haven't seen any support pages last out there because it's not easy. You're getting flacked all the time, but then slowly but surely people started jumping in and taking the plunge and experiencing master fasting, and then sharing and so on and so forth, and then the results started coming in. I had no doubt because I understood what it is. I lived it, and then the miracles started happening. And it still got blasted for a little while, but more miracles started happening, more miracles and more miracles. And slowly but surely the blasting and the negative stuff started getting less and less and less. And people made videos, spend their time and energy bashing me and Massive Fasting like they have nothing better to do.
But the videos that are pro Massive Fast were more than the videos that are
Yeah.
anti Massive Fast. So.
And we elevate their souls, you know, for their ignorance, but they have no clue what Master Fast is. Let's put it that way. But the few that are living and actually living the lifestyle, we can see clearly who it is, you know, and it's amazing, magical. That's why I'm here every Saturday. I'm here supporting those people, you know. There's a lot of people who don't come on, but listen, they're expecting the recordings for whatever reason, their time or working or whatever. They're expecting to see a recording, right?
Yeah.
Because I get messages. Where's that? I didn't see the recording.
Yeah. We're very proud of you, Engel, for staying up almost every weekend to be with us.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's just a few of the few. You know, it's going to take some effort, guys, you know, to heal, and it's going to be a lifetime. It's not for a certain amount of time. It's till you decide to jump the fence. You're going to be doing this if you want to really tap into a state of health and bliss like nobody else. It's going to be constant effort that you're doing.
But it gets easier and easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets easier and easier, way easier than the regular life, you know, with the old lifestyle. So it's fun.
Just the ones mentioned, you know, you receive love and support from two of yours, and like for me, it's time to give back, to not hold it within all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we love having people on sharing, man, because
Definitely.
the sharing, if you don't understand what the art of subtraction is, number one, first foremost, it's giving. You're giving, subtracting of your soul so you can receive. If you don't give,
you don't go, basically.
Healing, it will not be experienced. Period. It's that simple. You need to
it's kind of letting
love
go, right?
to
giving is kind of letting go.
Yeah,
like not controlling.
But it's creation itself. How did creation start? By giving. That's the momentum, and that plasma love is giving. It's continuously giving, so it can recycle back many times more, and so you can give more and more and more. That's creation. It's really that simple. And the thing that stands in the way in this realm are the obstructions, which Arnold Ehret so eloquently put in with 3 letters, you know, V equals P, take away O. Remove the obstructions and your magic will start to happen. And we're not talking about only physical. We're talking about every level. So it was just amazing to be able to access this information and share it and have others experience it. David, definitely love fasting more than eating. This inflammation sucks, so debilitating. Back to fasting after Easter for sure. Yeah, David, we all understand that, and it's wonderful. So, you know, we can laugh about it because we're living it. The ones who bash it are not ready. They're just not ready. They'll make all the excuses of why fasting's bad for you and you're lacking this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 blah.
It's usually the people who have not fasted really, right? The ones that are afraid of fasting.
Yeah. And most of the bashers don't even know what we're doing. They've never done it. They just nothing better to do in life. But they're basically calling all those miracle liars, all those people that had miraculous miracles, like miraculous. They're all liars. That's what they're calling them. My goodness gracious. I elevate their souls. Who else wants to share?
How's Margaret? How's your eye, Margaret?
Let me unmute you, Margaret. Go ahead. No, we don't hear you. We don't hear you, Margaret.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
I had this little thing in. I can hear better with it. Anyway, I went through the surgery because nothing seemed to be coming fast enough for me. I needed my license. Without it, 6 months was too long.
Yeah.
So, but I got my license now and I can see colors so much better, but I still have this side to work on, and I don't want to have any more surgeries. So I got to keep working, and I got to cut back on my eating. I've been eating like 6 days a week. So I'm going to step back and start doing a little less days of eating and work back into the hybrid probably in 3 or 4 weeks back into the hybrid. And
it's been how long now? A few months since you broke it? 108?
Well, I've been breaking it since December.
December
1st, yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling overall?
I feel stuffy.
Stuffy?
Too much food.
Too much.
Yeah, because see, it's spring here and all the crops are in and they're really good. So, and I just love the vegetables, and that kind of put me into 6 days of eating.
Yeah.
But I still fast the 1 day a week, and I do enemas every day.
Awesome.
I don't know what else. I went to a seminar and they were talking about stem cells.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious because my knees creak and crumble every time I bend them. So I was interested. So they gave me a prescription to get a X-ray done, which I was wanting to know what condition my knees were in. And come to find out that the cartilage is still there. And there's no such thing that's bone on bone, because that's not true. But that's what doctors will tell people, just so they can cut off their leg and put another joint in. And he said there's cartilage on the bone, but that's the arthritis in the knee that's bothering me. So I know Master Fast System will take that away. I know this. I just have to do it and let it fall where it falls. And of course, I want to get the other eye working.
How were your knees when you were on the fast?
Pardon me?
How were the knees when you were in the fast?
I didn't have the pain because I wasn't eating those foods. I know dairy and all those foods that I was eating before, grains, will cause more stiffness in the body when I eat grains, and eggs and meat and stuff like that.
For sure.
It makes a lot of difference in how I can go up and down stairs. But yeah.
Yeah, so since you broke your fast, it got worse?
Pardon?
Since you broke your fast, did it get bad? Worse?
Yeah, because I started eating grains again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm addicted to bread too sometimes. So I try to stay away from it, but yeah.
Well, if you do eat bread, do you toast it very well?
I toast it very well, yes.
Yeah. It's you're still going to feel it, but at least it's going to go through you much easier, and doesn't.
I like the crunch of the toast. Yeah.
It's not as gluey when we toast
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's glue. Wheat is glue.
I know.
Gluten.
Yes, gluey.
Yeah.
When it's burnt, it's like charcoal.
I can't hear.
Yeah, when it's burnt, it's like charcoal.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
gluey.
Well, you know what to do.
Yeah, when I start back on the hybrid, I should be taking the herbs too, right? And the tea.
Yeah, it's the same as MFS except the one the other day, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know,
take breaks.
Huh?
She can take breaks, right?
Yeah. You can go on and off, right? When you're eating, you don't have to stay consistently on. because when you're eating, as we say, your body will get used to herbs if you do them for several weeks or months. Your body starts getting used to them. So it's always good to take breaks.
I was just using up Dr. Morris's herbs while I've been eating. While I stopped the fast the last few months, I had some of those left, so I was taking those.
Sure.
It was the not the tablets, but the capsules
Yeah,
of the herb. Yeah.
That's fine when you're eating, sure.
Yeah.
Capsules. We don't want to be doing them when we're on MFS.
Yeah.
Don't want any digestion happening. But you're doing great, Margaret. Just stay focused. You know what to do. We need to eat less. It's really what we need.
So.
And we got to stay focused on the less obstructive foods as much as possible.
My right sense.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Stay connected and stay on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go. Instead of 6 days a week, maybe go for that. 5.
Yeah, I'm going to back it up. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 days.
Yeah.
2 day, 1 way liquids, or maybe 2 days a week liquid and 1 day dry or whatever. This is really the focus in to keep the body resetting itself, because when we're eating, we're always putting foreign substances in the body. I don't care what the food is, and we're, like we say, when we're eating, we're obstructing. When we're fasting, we're de-obstructing. So how much days do you want to obstruct? How much days do you want to de-obstruct? And that's what we have to jiggle and juggle and be comfortable within ourselves to be able to do that. And slowly but surely over the years, we get used to it, and we can do more and more and more as time goes on. So it's all in a day's work in this lifestyle. Nothing to worry about. It's just part of the journey. All part of the journey. Excellent. Judith has her hand up. Did you want anything else to add, Margaret?
No, I guess that's it. I'll be going up to Buffalo area in July and August, so I'll be eating again. Yeah. It saves a lot of headaches for other people and myself. So
Buffalo's not far from us. It's about
I know it. I know it. It's just an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've been to Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very close. All right.
My father and mother were born. My mother was born in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. They were Canadians.
Both parents?
Both parents, yeah.
And then they moved down to the States?
Yeah, they moved to the States. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians do that to get away from the cold.
His family lived in Toronto. My uncle was a ticket taker for the railroad.
Oh. Okay.
My father worked on the railroad. It was going out west.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian Pacific.
Right.
Back in 1920 or 1918.
Wow.
Yeah.
CP Rail, I think they're still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, Margaret. Stay focused. You know what to do.
Yep. I'll work at it. Work in progress.
That's all it is. It's a work in progress. Once we understand that, we don't get distracted by the little healing reactions, this, that, and the other thing, and stuffing ourselves and not feeling good. It's part of the process. Okay, keep going.
Well, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter. Thank you. Judith, you got your hand up. Hello, Judith.
Yes.
Are you there?
Hello. Yeah, I'm here. How are you guys?
Hi.
Excellent. Yourself?
That's good. Good. Thank you. Thanks again for doing all those Sundays Zoom.
For you, it's
I
Sunday.
think we should. Yeah, I think we should have 2 a week.
Well, I do Facebook on Wednesday, so I'm actually doing 2.
Yeah, no, I try to do on Wednesday as well, but just, because we share the experience, all of us get the opportunity to talk on Sundays.
Yeah.
I found it's a little bit more helpful.
Yeah, the Zoom
And
is, I
then,
like Zoom much better myself.
yeah. But I just want to say thank you because in the middle of the week, like on Wednesday, at first I'm like, oh, quick Sunday. I need some inspiration and some motivation. I just want to ask a question regarding, because I'm getting ready to do a 5-day dry fast. I've done 2 in the past. My first one I was in 2016. I didn't know anything about the master fast. I did another one last year.
5 days?
5 days, yeah. And I'm gonna do another one on starting next Tuesday.
Go for 7.
Yeah, I'm planning to go for 7, but I found that like once I pass the 5 days, I get really, really weak physically. I can't barely even walk to go to the bathroom.
Remove that sentence from your whole being.
Oh.
It goes in phases, Judith. This is where the experience comes through the experiences, right? I mean, the understanding comes through the experiences. Fasting in general, we go through cycles. And things can and will change very quickly while you're fasting. When you're dry fasting, things can and will change even quicker. So you may feel like you're going to die in 1 minute, and then all of a sudden, the energy kicks in and you're flying high. So, things can happen like that. And it's where you need to learn to trust. Use the tools. Use the accurate pressure points, use the breath work, move, stretching. No matter how crappy you feel that day, move. Mm-hmm. Because I can only tell you from the experience, and then the energy kicks in.
Okay, because I think that's my problem. It's I stay in bed when I feel very weak and I feel crappy. No. I just lay down.
Never advocate that. No, not for dry fasting. You need our energy system, which is the lymph system, because we're full of obstructions, does not move on its own. Needs movement for it to move. And if it doesn't have movement, our energy goes way down. So we need to move until we get to a point where there's so little obstructions in our body. I don't think we'll ever get rid of them. But the lymph system will move on its own plasmatically. Mm-hmm. And the energy is limitless. It's endless. This is my understanding. So in the meantime, when we're dry fasting, we need to move. We just move, stretch, whatever, light, brisk walks. I'm just go back when I was in Italy, and riding my bike up that hill. If I try to do that now, I'll collapse because I haven't been doing any of this stuff. So you have to train yourself, for a couple of months, 2-3 months back into it. But you get it back quick because the body's got memory. Once you've done it, the body's got memory to these things. So it's not that difficult to get back into it. It's just like people who have worked out with weights in their muscles, and then they leave it for a few years and they go back. They pick it up very quickly because it's got memory. So it's the same thing with fasting. The only thing that when you're going into the longer fast is to learn to trust. And like I said, use the tools to allow the process. And if it means to do, move it into a semi-dry, like, you're doing 1/2 ounce liquid every hour, every 2 hours, or, maybe you're starting with just the tinctures, 1/2 a dose of tinctures, do that. Believe you me, Judith, never mind what anybody else says about fasting, dry fasting out there. Oh, it's not a dry fast. They don't know what they're talking about. We're after results, not theory bullcrap. And if you do a semi-dry, if you do a 12-day semi-dry, like with that amount of, you're going to get results. Believe you me, because we've had thousands of people go through this. And so we do that step by step. If at 5 days, it's really tough for you or whatever, it may even be a 3 days. Just force yourself a little bit, not extreme, but force yourself to move, breath work, acupressure points, and you'll see the energy picks up. And then the next day, you may feel like in a whole different state. You'll feel amazing. It's just the way it happens. And if it's a little bit too much, move it into a semi-dry to help move you through, because the semi-dry, what's doing is basically feeding the ego and subconscious a belief system. Oh, okay, I needed something in there, because that's what we believe, right? That's what we program. But it's the furthest thing from the truth. So until we come to the terms where we actually get to that point and experience it, and then we experience the 7 days, and then we go, oh man, I hit 7 days. Maybe I can go a little longer. So the next round you go a little bit longer, and then the one after that you go a little bit longer. I'm talking about every several months. You know what I mean? Every season change or whatever. And that's the way we work it, little by little by little. I didn't get to this state overnight. It's 3 decades of fasting, and everybody wants it done, in a few months. They want to get to that state. Oh, I want to do this and the other. Okay, yeah, but take it easy. Believe me. Let the body metamorphosize. It takes time. I remember Kesh mentioned something about for the body to go back to a vegetarian state. It may take a generation or two. For that memory to be changed and transformed. These things don't happen overnight. We're talking generations and generations of whatever diets our families ate, and and there's the emotion attached to it and everything else. So just give it time. I know things can be done quicker. Once you tap into soul, that's when the speed happens. But it's going to only be at whatever this realm allows, whatever speed this realm allows. So, but it's very quickly sometimes. So quickly is a few years.
Yeah. And the kidney pain, because I've got lower pain back, like I've got pain in my lower back when I do those 5 days every time. That's the kidneys, the filtering.
Well, that's what you've experienced in the past. Doesn't mean it happens every time. Okay. I've had kidney pains in several dry fasts, and then I've had dry fasts with absolutely no kidney pains, and my kidneys felt better than ever. So don't put that program, you know what I'm trying to say? Don't allow that program to remain, because it's not who you are. That's what you experienced in your fast prior, but this fast may or may not have that experience. I don't know. The kidneys will really start to open up when you go over 7-day dry.
Okay.
That's when you really have a massive change in the kidneys. And I can only speak from experience. You need to get into the longer dries. And this is only for people who've been actually living and loving the lifestyle, actually living and loving it for at least 2 to 3 years. Get up in that. Like there's people who jump in and do 7, 8, 10 days dry fast off the bat, and they're in bed. I don't know what they accomplished. From coming from whatever diet. I see fruitarian kind of raw food. Oh, I've been raw for 10, 20 years. I can be able to do this. Really? Okay. They've never fasted. Yeah, sure. They're plugged up just like everybody else. It just never cleaned up. Doesn't matter how much raw food. Until you fast have a digestive vacation for a long time, that stuff ain't coming out. I don't care what you do. That stuff is glue. You can't do glue, as we say.
Yeah, raw food is not the worst. Fruits and vegetables.
I know, but it's all the food they've ate before they were raw. It's still in there.
Like the deeper.
It's stuck within the layers, man. It's glued in there. It's like cement. So, be patient, Judith. Focus on those 7-ish days. Who knows? You may go longer. I don't know. You've been doing this for a couple of years at least now, and you've been eating raw foods for a while, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're ready to, dwell into try and get into that 7 days at least,
Yeah. So if I have back pain again, lower back pain. Can I massage with the burn
Of
stick?
course. Yeah.
Help?
Yeah. Even if you have to do some castor oil packs, you know, do the
Okay.
stretches with the back exercise. It helps keep energy flowing in the area, but the acupressure points will also help.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just allow the process to unfold. Don't expect anything. Just allow it to unfold and trust. This is some people they have fear in the dry fasting, and that's where everything happens. But the key is, of course, to clean up the GI tract. That's what makes the magic happen. And that understanding is not recognized out in the fasting world out there. You know, in 3 days, they say your whole immune system's regenerated with the fast. Yeah, okay, sure. I haven't seen it. Haven't seen it in 108 days. It's going to happen in 3 days. Sure. That's what they see in their microscopes. And they're sure because they see the evidence in their microscopes. But what are they looking at? They don't even understand what they're looking at.
So that's a bit better. But
yeah, they don't understand what they're looking at. They're assuming and theorizing and all that stuff. We don't know anything. We just trust. That's all we do. We don't know anything.
we feel
because
it. We feel it.
we just trust, and the magic happens every time. Every time. So I believe you can get to 7 days. Stay connected, and you know, always if you're out and about, you know, have stuff with you prepared to break the fast. You know, if it's one of those iffy days in your mind, so you know, you can, you know, break it if you need to.
Yeah, I've got the grape juice and I've got everything to do the.
We don't want to be heroes, but you know, if you're just feeling way off and you're doing things and it's just not coming through, you know, just like I said, move into the semi-dryer or you break it properly and so on and so forth. But once you start moving, you know, into the longer dries, you're going to see a lot more magic happen. But another thing to be warned, and not to be warned, but to come to the understanding, when you do the long dries, when you start drinking liquids, the liquids will be like eating obstructive foods. Okay, it's going to be a shock to the body. And sometimes you'll see a little bit of edema and stuff like that. Don't let these things worry you. It's all part of the process. Just allow the body to recognize that you're taking in liquids again and let it work on that. Just like when you do a long fast, you're eating again, it takes time. Same thing when you do long dries. You have to allow the body to process it. And you may have a little bit of edema here and there, and you know, before the body starts working again, because you're working on completely two different things, right? You're working on one on fields without any matter at all when you're dry fasting, and then when you're taking liquids, you know, it's still matter. Even though we're using the cooked juice or something, there's still matter attached to it, and you have to deal with that. So don't be worried about these things. I've had people make all kinds of things. Oh, you destroyed your kidneys. You destroyed this. And, yeah, okay, sure. Ignorance, you know, it's lots of it out there, and it's okay. I don't have all the answers, but I only speak of my experiences, of what I've experienced. That's all I can speak with. If I didn't experience it, I really don't talk about it. Everything I talk about is my experiences, or many other people's experiences, which they have shared in the last 3.5 years and over the last decades with me guiding people and so on and so forth. But all is well. All is well. When are you starting?
I'm starting on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, what about breaking the 5 or the 7 days, if I can make 7 days, with enemas instead of drinking? No.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Break it with the bubbly properly. Then you sip very slowly when you do the long ones, right? Don't, and then start sipping on either juice or kidney tea. Like when you do the long ones, I would say long would be 7+ days. I wouldn't even be drinking the juice. I'd be sipping on some kidney tea for that day, and
Okay.
after 2, 3, 4 hours, and then start doing enemas. You want to get the washing starting from the top first when you do a long dry, and
Okay.
then wash. You want to start getting liquid down that way, because if you start doing an enema from a long dry, the body will
Yeah.
start absorbing all that. You don't want that.
Yeah.
You want it to
Yeah.
come.
The colon is full of waste.
You want to go that way. Unless you're doing a colon feeding, that means you're starting with the enemas every single day. You know what I mean? You're having that,
Yeah.
but you haven't had a drive. You know what I mean? Before that, you don't mix those up. You either start with
Yeah.
the colon feeding, or you start with, and if you start with a dry, you don't break with an enema ever. You always
Yeah.
from the top first. Very important. Very important.
Okay. And after a few days of being back, so I do the tea the first day, then I can do an enema after a few hours.
Yeah.
Can I keep going with enemas for the next few days, like
Of course.
colon feeding?
You can go into the colon feeding if you want. If you want to go long, go into the colon feeding if you really want to dig.
The colon feeding, you do the dry and then no more than 48 hours. If you want to start washing your colon, no more than 48-hour dry. So within 48 hours of dry, you want to do the kolima or the enemas, and then after that every day.
She breaks it and she wants to then continue doing enemas every day. Yeah, of course. But I said,
you were talking about starting colon feeding, right?
After her dry.
If you want to do colon feeding, after the dry.
Yeah.
You can go into colon feeding. Colon feeding. I don't know if you've done that.
I tried a few times, but no. After a few days, I was not organized actually. It's just I have to set up my dry fast around my work, and then so I just have to set up everything in my mind, get ready for it, then it would happen.
Yeah, the colon feeding is very powerful, and a few people have tried it. I haven't heard much feedback. But if somebody's having a challenge with dry fasting, do the colon feeding.
So it's very powerful, but it's easier than.
It's easier than dry, of course, because you're washing.
Yeah, I'm getting even the juice now is just getting too much. I just don't feel good anymore, even just on a juice, because I've been doing a lot of juice. Sometimes fruits as well, 2 or 3 times a week. But and I've got like acid reflux as well sometimes coming up. So I need something else until I go back on a full MFS. I'm just waiting to get all the money that I need to buy the tinctures.
If you're getting acid reflux, you got to peel some layers still.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
I said,
all right.
It's a process, the lifestyle, it's several years for the body to clean itself out properly through the GI tract, raw foods, you're not going to clean much. It's only going to go so far. It's going to be a lot better than any other diet, eating fruitarian mainly, which is fantastic, because that's the foods we really want to eat is the fruit mainly, if we can. But the fasting, you need to get into the fasting to stop the digestion for a long period of time. That's the key. And we just do it in a way where it's simple, effective, and safe. And not MFS kicks butt like nothing else out there that I've seen. As far as cleaning is awesome. So,
all right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh wow, we're already at past the 2-hour mark. All right, so Been another wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Anybody else want to share anything last moments, or we call it a close? And we'll see everybody next week.
Happy dry fasting if anyone's dry fasting with me over Easter. Well, you are, Judith, so I'll be there with you. And thank you, Gina and Rana and everyone here. It's been a really good call. Thank you very much. Much love and blessings, and just love it. Love you all. Thank you so much. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, and we'll see you again, family.
Very good.
Ciao. Let's keep that
Love
plastic.
yous.
Stay focused. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.